Here's a question. Why do some children grow into confident, calm adults, while others spend their whole lives battling anxiety, perfectionism, or self-doubt? The truth is, a child's emotional blueprint is shaped long before adulthood through the 5 major parenting styles psychologists have studied for decades. And here's the twist. Most parents use one of these styles without ever realizing it, or how deeply it affects their child's future. Today, we're breaking down all 5 and revealing what research says about the long-term effects of each one. Stay with me until the end, because the 5th style is the one modern psychologists say may matter more than anything else, and almost no one talks about it. I am Cindy, and we do the research so you don't have to. Check this out. Many of us are familiar with a particular parenting style, the authoritarian parent. This approach is often characterized by strict rules and a harsh tone, leaving little room for negotiation or discussion. It's the parenting where the phrase "because I said so" becomes a common refrain, a clear indicator of unquestionable authority. Children are expected to obey without question. Consider the story of a mother whose 10-year-old son stopped telling her the truth. He wasn't trying to deceive her, but rather, he was terrified of disappointing her expectations. This powerful anecdote highlights a core outcome of authoritarian parenting. It fosters obedience, but often at the cost of emotional safety and open communication within the family. Scientific research, particularly by Diana Baumrind, sheds light on the effects of this style. Her studies reveal that authoritarian homes tend to produce children with high rule-following tendencies. However, these children often exhibit low confidence and struggle with high levels of anxiety. The constant pressure to conform can stifle their inner voice and self-assurance. This type of discipline without genuine communication or understanding can actually rewire the brain. It shifts the child's primary motivation towards fear, rather than intrinsic desire or understanding. The long-term impact of authoritarian parenting extends into adulthood. These individuals often find themselves struggling with decision-making, constantly second-guessing their choices. They may develop an intense fear of making mistakes, lead into hesitation and a reluctance to take risks. This can hinder personal and professional growth. Furthermore, they might excessively seek approval from others, constantly looking for external validation, rather than trusting their own judgment and inner compass. But what happens when a parent goes to the opposite extreme? All warmth and almost no boundaries? The result is not what most parents expect, and that's what we'll explore next. Permissive parents are loving, empathetic, and warm, prioritizing their child's happiness and freedom above all else. However, this lack of consistent boundaries and reluctance to enforce rules creates its own unique challenges for children as they grow. A father once shared with me, "I love my daughter too much to say no," believing he was fostering her happiness. But when she turned 15, she confessed, "Dad, I love you, but I don't respect you," revealing the unintended consequences of his approach. This poignant story highlights a fundamental truth. Kids need both freedom to explore and the structure that boundaries provide. Science backs these observations, with studies from the Journal of Child and Family Studies revealing specific outcomes for children of permissive parents. These children often exhibit high creativity, scoring 15 to 20% higher on divergent thinking tasks compared to other parenting styles. However, they also tend to show low self-discipline, with 25 to 30% lower scores on self-regulation scales. Furthermore, they often demonstrate higher frustration intolerance, being 35% more likely to quit challenging puzzles within 5 minutes. These patterns can lead to significant lifelong impacts as they transition into adulthood. As adults, individuals raised by permissive parents may struggle significantly with self-discipline in various aspects of their lives. They might expect special treatment, having been accustomed to few consequences and constant indulgence during their formative years. This can also lead to a tendency to avoid accountability, finding it difficult to take responsibility for their actions. However, what if the core problem isn't too much freedom, but rather too little parental presence and engagement? A third parenting style, which we will explore next, reveals what happens when parents disappear even when they don't mean to. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for fostering well-rounded, resilient children. You should know this. Sometimes this isn't intentional. Stress, burnout, survival mode, they can all make parents withdraw without realizing it. A mom shared that her son stopped inviting her to things because you always look too tired. It broke her. Harvard longitudinal study. Children with uninvolved parents show higher loneliness, higher emotional instability, difficulty forming secure relationships. These children often grow into adults who settle for unhealthy relationships, feel unworthy of love, overwork to fill emotional gaps. But here's the twist: even loving present parents can accidentally cause stress, simply by using the wrong combination of discipline and warmth. The next style is the one psychologists call the sweet spot. You should know this. This is the style most supported by research, a blend of warmth plus structure, boundaries plus connection. A mother shared that when her son spilled juice and froze, she knelt down and said, "It's okay, let's clean it together." He trusted her more, not less. Science. APA calls this the most effective parental style. Produces children who are confident, emotionally regulated, independent, resilient. Lifelong impact. Authoritative parenting often creates adults who maintain healthy boundaries, communicate clearly, handle stress effectively. But if authoritative parenting is so effective, what could possibly be better? Modern psychology says there's one more style, and it may change everything about connection. Is this you? Attuned parenting goes deeper than warmth or boundaries? It's about emotional presence, the ability to tune into a child's inner world. A father snapped at his son, paused, apologized, and said, "I shouldn't have yelled. That wasn't fair to you." His son hugged him and said, "I know you're trying." That's emotional safety. Science, Dr. Dan Siegel, Interpersonal Neurobiology. Naming emotions regulates the brain, repair strengthens relationships, attunement builds long-term resilience. Lifelong impact. Kids from attuned homes often become adults who understand their emotions, take responsibility, repair conflicts, form deep connections, lead with empathy. And here's the final question. If attunement is so powerful, how do we actually practice it every day? Let's wrap up with the 5 key takeaways you can use tonight. So what did we learn? Authoritarian parenting often leads to obedience without confidence. Permissive parenting, on the other hand, can be love without limits. Uninvolved parenting often results in independence without support. Authoritative parenting strikes a balance, offering boundaries with warmth. And finally, attuned parenting prioritizes emotional safety above everything. Here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present, curious, and willing to repair, even when you get it wrong. We did the research, so you don't have to. Which parenting style did you grow up with? And which one are you trying to build now?
Together, let's raise calmer, more connected families.
If this helped you reflect on your parenting style, please like, subscribe, tap the bell, and tell me in the comments. You're helping us more than you know.